What's up, everybody? Another exciting night in the late night garage with Nick, with your host, yours truly, Nick. Anyway, getting into it tonight. So we're going to reflash the Creality board back to the 4.2.7. I did get my adapter for MakerBase in for the eMMC, and it was like just a couple bucks over on Amazon. And so you can see our good old MakerBase little probulator for the eMMC module. And so we're going to test this guy out and see if I can flash the eMMC to not run SD cards on the MKS Pi board. And so we'll see how well this works here in a minute. Hopefully it'll actually load and pop up and say, hey, you can do this. But I don't know if it's supposed to go this way or if it's supposed to go this way. I'm loading it in. I would hate to fry the memory board. I gotta take a look at it and see whether there's a correct orientation for the board. Because I know in the accessory it's supposed to be opposite. So is it going to be opposite on this, or is it going to be forward facing? I don't know. So I gotta research that real quick. So it's a version 2.0 adapter, and we'll take a look at that. In other news, I did bring down and relocate one of my Nest Wi-Fi home mesh network points here to the garage, so hopefully the camera feeds won't randomly cut out or lose connection or signal. So everything seems to be working just fine, and it actually boosted our network capability here in the house, so that's kind of exciting at the same time. But yeah, we're gonna go make sure I have a frosty cold beverage before we get into this. And so yeah, so all evening long I've been kind of playing around with the home network to get it better solidified in order to keep concurrent streaming. So there was a little bit of network lag between the two cameras, and camera still losing camera signal. So I got to figure that out as to why that keeps down at the garage didn't work. But I did get some other parts and components printed out ready. I gotta see if I can get these cameras to automatically resync and reconnect if there is a drop or if there is packet loss. But yesterday, after getting the Pi board up and running a second time, started running into some other issues relating to the a pin out not being recognized, and so instead of running the eMMC chip, I ended up opting for a normal SD card and flashed the latest version onto the SD card in lieu of the eMMC module. So I'm wanting to get the eMMC module up and running tonight, is my hope. We'll take a look. So eMMC adaptive orientation. I just need to figure out exactly which way the eMMC module needs to point when it's connected to the USB adapter. And so, I mean, looking here on the Printables website, I'm okay with that. So it looks like the eMMC USB case, Hujima what's it, It has the eMMC facing away. Top cover, preventing placement of the eMMC in the wrong orientation, so it is going to be facing away. I'd be shocked if that was not the case. And I might even print one of these out right quick. So, why not? Okay, I see an MC adapter, safe top case. So I wonder if there's one on Maker World. I agree. Yes, log into my account. eMMC. Nope. So there's that one on printables. What about Thingiverse? eMMC. But I do like that one that does not allow you to print it in the orientation. So we're going to go ahead and download this, and we're going to print one out. Visibility behavior. Stop on not visible, restart when visible. And figure that out. I'll play with those settings later. Download Studio. We'll update Bamboo Studio real quick. Because why not? I just updated the firmware on both the Bamboos anyway. And because I updated the firmware on the Bamboos, I should probably just update the firmware. No, updating the firmware, I should probably update Studio. I'm running the latest versions of everything, and then we'll get into it. And then the other thing I gotta do is I gotta figure out the naming convention. Because I don't remember what the Creality Board naming convention is. So, Creality 4.2.7, firmware, flash. I think you gotta rename it. So, download direct firmware. I think you have to rename it to like update.bin or something like that. Or actually, let me go to the file folder for it. So let me shrink that back down. Here. Okay. That's right, sure. Firmware explanation. This one is different. Okay, so yep, got that. That's fine. cancel, support, company, no, block. Let me turn this guy and get a quote. Is it on Reality 3D? Support, download center, Ender, 3 Pro, Ender 3 Pro for Sprite, Ender 3 Pro for high tab full, and not worry about that. I just want the Ender 3 Pro ported firmware. Okay, let's see. Yeah, the same file that I downloaded. On there. Extract all. Sure. Okay, so I added 4.2. This is going to just be Marlin. So original version is what we want to flash this thing back to. So English bin. So I'm going to take that. We're going to copy it. F drive. Paste. Here's the final destination, just to be sure. Okay. I could have sworn that we had to convert it over to like update.bin or rename it somehow, but I don't remember. It's been a while. But we need to flash that, but now we're going to go back to OBS Studio for our downloads. We're going to go here, run our update. Yes. Click OK to force back to close. Continue the installation. Next. I agree. Install. Super exciting stuff. Why not? Maybe we'll even start getting to put on the enclosure tonight. That'd be kind of cool. Get out our double-sided sticky tape and start slapping it everywhere. Complete. Next. Close. Let's go studio. Oh, what material do we use to print this thing out? Got lots of red. Got some magenta, blue, sky blue, black. Let's go black. Black PLA. So let's go to prep. Texture PEI plate. Cancel. Add models. Downloads. MC adapter. Open. No. Arrange. Let's see. Auto orient. That's a weird orientation. Go back to see how this dude printed. Makes Physical TV black, fits perfect, bottom of standard file. LED hole, fits great, pretty easy. I'll just print those parts and just call it a day. Alright. Remix. So I'm going to close that out. That's fine. All right. Okay. Close that. Close that. Minimize that. Close that. Close that. Close that. Oh, still have putty active from last night. Okay, so let's go to back to Studio. And we're going to go to .16 optimal sports, enable sports. Let's flip this back over. So we're just going to lay that one on its face. Slice that thing up. Sure. Looks good. Device, machine 1, preview, filament. What color should we go with tonight? What color sounds good? Black, blue, magenta, white. I got the most red. I've got lots of white. I've got lots of black. Gold, silver. It's probably printed in like Peggy or something, but whatever. You know what? We'll go red. Hopefully red doesn't fail on me in the feeding. I've got a lot of red. Alright, let's just throw some of the red. Alright. 18 minutes. It's only going to take 18 minutes. Let's bump this up to 0.12. Use modified value, slice plate. Sure, print. 24 minutes, gross. Let's take that back down to 0.16. We'll go. We'll just keep it optimal. I want 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Print plate. Send. All right. grind. Got some filament in here needs to get cleaned out. I really need to do some maintenance on these guys. They've been printing for a while. Well, let's get set up. We'll pop some parts out. Super exciting. Yeah, but hopefully I can get the firmware and everything up and running tonight, and I can start playing around with motion control for the switch wire. I'm kind of scared to reflash the Creality board because I'm going to introduce errors. I don't have the Creality screen hooked up to it, so I can't say that, oh look, it updated and took the firmware. So, I don't know, I might connect this, one of my old screens to it just to make sure that it is going to say, yes, I have received the firmware load. And then I want to check out the eMMC, and so the proper orientation, based on what I've seen online, and that little safety catch for the cover that I'm printing out right now is that it should, oh, that's the adapter board, what am I doing? Should be oriented like so. I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to plug it in and see if it'll actually work. So I'm going to turn that off. Set that board over there. Okay. Boot. Hey look, the eMMC actually loaded. Continue without screen. There it is, boot D. And so this is the original load. And so we did pull it up. The eMMC adapter did work like flawlessly first time plugging it in. And so I was able to pull it up. And so we're going to reflash this with the most recent load for the MKS Pi. No, don't tell me that. Don't make those noises. Love it. Love it when I have filament feed issues. And so I had some filament already break off inside the tube because this is an older filament. That really sucks. So now we're going to do some emergency maintenance. Yay. So you gotta wait for this thing to time out so I can pull out this old filament that's stuck in the tube. Ooh. I can clean out all the little giblets of stuff I got back here. Yay, giblets of stuff. I love bamboo poop. So I don't know if you can't see it on the camera, but I've got a bunch of broken off filament that's in one of the PTFE tubing routing from the AMS down. So there's the error, so now it's paused. So now we're going to go into popping cables and pulling filament. So there we go. Oh no, I've got filament broken off inside the AMS. That sucks. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit more than I was hoping to have to do. There's my other two pieces of filament that were stuck in there. Discard those. TFE tubing. And then we'll send it again and see if it routes. I hope that it routes. Retry. Alright, we are all the way to the hot end this time. Now we are cooking with oil. Okay, moving right along. So now that that's up, so what we're going to do is we are going to open up the Lina etcher. We're going to flash from file. There's our maker base. Open. Select target. So I'm going to pull this up here, so we're going to cancel that so you guys can kind of follow along. So we're going to cancel that. So I pull up Lina etcher. Now with the Lina etcher open, we're going to go to flash from file. We're going to select the RBN maker base. Last load. Open. Select the target. These are generic device USB. .82, select one, flash. Yes. Alright, so while the Lina etcher is flashing, yes, format disk. I had the same problem last time where it kept telling me I needed to format the drive and just hit close. Can't format D, that's fine, whatever. The eMMC module is moving quite a bit quicker than what the previous one was. I probably should have formatted it prior to doing that, but you know what, here we are. And so without the firmware load being loaded up, I think this is a good time to actually flash the Creality board back to the clipperized version that was for the Sonic pad. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this guy gingerly over. Cameras matter, so we're going to shrink that down out of the way. Bing, bing. There's the old bamboo and it's oozing stuff. Why are you oozing? It smells dirty. We'll let it run. We'll let it ride. Alright. So we're going to gingerly flip this guy onto its top. Set that down. So from here, I've got to move the camera angle a little bit. From here, what I need to do is I need to take the flashed binary file for the factory load for the Creality. And I'm going to go to my Creality junk bin. Where did I put my Creality junk bin? Oh. Nope. 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 junk bin. Where are you? Junk bin, junk. Mushroom, mushroom. There it is. All right. Right, so we're gonna grab good old Ender 3 screens. Find a ribbon cable. Connect our ribbon cable. He's like, oh gosh, please don't pop. I'm getting nothing to the screen. Alright, so our image is flashed. Let's see, jump in. I wonder if I ended up tossing those other ribbon cables. Hold on. Normally I don't toss junk, but I may have tossed those. That would be terrible, but whatever. Interesting. Let's see. Who's going? Close. I wonder if it's because I have the screen port disabled because of the clever upgrade that was done to the board. So that may be the case. So I don't know that we're going to be able to do anything with it. We'll plug on the screens back in here in a second, but we're going to go ahead and run the flash anyway. We got power off. We'll go ahead and unplug that right quick. We only had one camera failure per unit tonight, which is kind of exciting. And so I've got to slide the board over so I can get access to the SD card slot. So I'll slide that over. So I got my cables that are out in the way for me to do that, so I'm going to have to disconnect the USB, which is a pain to get put back on. Got those cables out of the way. Grab my SD card. I don't know if I get my fat fingers in there. I just need to put the card in and then power this thing on. Come on. Let that stuff rest right now. Go ahead and power that on. Oh, I mean, power it on while I don't have the power cable hooked up. It's a genius move. So I'm going to give this a couple minutes just so it can run the flash. Hopefully that flash will take. I don't see why it wouldn't. I see that something's happening. Meanwhile, the maker base is loading. But I don't know what's loading into because there's no. Oh, I guess I still have the SD card in there, so it's still loading into that SD card. So I'm going to give this like 4 more minutes. It is midnight 01 right now. So thank you guys for tuning in if you're tuning in. And, you know, here in the late night garage with Nick, we are just running exploratory stuff with building our first Voron switch wire with a good old Anders 3 Pro. It's been completely discombobulated and recombobulated into this monstrosity. So I have no idea how long it'll actually take to flash the firmware. It may be even done. This latest half barrel here just is not emptying. And neither a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, ooh. So we'll unplug this here in a few minutes. We'll give it 2 more minutes. And then we will pop the SD card out, pop the other SD card out, pop that eMMC module in. I might actually work on hard mounting the eMMC module in, just to lock it into place, because I have the mounting kit here for it. And so, I mean, might as well completely professionalize the build, but I think I'm going to have to take the board off of the carriage in order to do that, which is fine, I don't mind. But I want to lock that board into place, and so we did have to cant the heatsink a little bit just to make sure that the power board, or the eMMC module, will fit into the eMMC slot, which is, you know, this guy right here. I don't want to get anything conductive next to all those pins. That'd be terrible. Alright. 45 seconds. Why are we pausing? No idea why OBS Studio paused. I didn't see any errors come up. I don't know why it didn't finish off that bottom. That's kind of interesting. We'll take a look at it here in a second. So I thought that was going in and doing an inspection on the first layer. So now we should be going in an inspection on the first layer. I didn't get any errors, but it went and parked for some reason. Maybe I accidentally hit the pause button. Now we're inspecting first layer. And that red relay has just got that booger hanging off the hot end. It looks ugly. Ugly. That's fine. It's only a carrier for this thing. But the cool part is that the eMMC module did work. I was able to flash the unit. So I'm going to do some reprogramming here in a second. Hopefully all that stuff that's on the hot end will iron out here in a minute. Alright. Jumping back over to it. Okay, so yeah, I just had to confirm that, you know, that was the screen port because it's been a while since I've actually taken these things out and apart. So we're going to go ahead and power down the unit. Alright, we're going to wait for it to discharge. Give it another 30 seconds or so. SolidWorks yelling at me again. Like that. Alright, now we're going to just set this down here into a resting position right quick. Without connecting anything else up, we're going to grab our screen with our ribbon cable. And we're going to see if we get something on the screen this time. So I want to just flashing this thing back to its factory specs and settings, just to make sure the board is operating correctly. So here we go. I got nothing still. Get a little chirp out of it. The screen is getting power because the chirp is happening. So that, or maybe I just don't have the right ribbon cable hooked up, but hoping that firmware load did take. Let's see. Formatted SD card, insert the card into my printer. Printer was off, then turned it on. Nothing happens. Get normal boot sequence. There's not being any changes to the firmware on my desk. Rename to something else. Just leave the .bin extension the same. Add a few random numbers to the end of the file. So. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought we had to run an update or change the name of it. SD card, where did I put you? Fiddlesticks, where did I put the SD card? It was only a 4 gig card. I mean, I got a couple more of them laying around, but where did I put? Oh, there it is. All right, so we're going to turn off the eMMC module. Actually, I could just use this other one. That's fine. Drop the SD card in to the reader. Drop that into this other port. And that is all on. Rename this. Actually, we'll go 4274 .bin. Check that, dude. Pull this back up. Set the card back in. Connect an Ender 3 screen. So, I use the same control multiple boards, EXP1 such as Ender 3 only uses EXP3. So, EXP3, so if I plug the screen into EXP3, maybe that was my problem all along, so we'll plug it into EXP3, and then we'll fire this thing back up. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Alright, so there we go. We should have the firmware up. So Ender 3 Pro is ready. About printer. Okay, so we got Marlin version 1.0.1, 2020 0425 Ender 3 Pro. Extruder's baud rate 115200. Alright, so we are now flashed back to the original factory setting for the board. So we're going to power that one down and we're going to re-anchor everything and disconnect the screen. Shut that off. And we're going to remove the TF card. I need to use that same thing to flash the other printer here before too long. Alright, now we're going to cross threading. Come on, T-Nut. Work with me here. All right. Oh man, it's been a while since I've actually plugged around and played around with the Creality. So here we go. All right, back into it. So we'll set our the screen back in our junk bin. Take our junk bin, slide it back underneath. Grab some of this other junk from the junk bin that needs to go into the junk bin, and we're going to junk bin all of the junk. Hooray! I got a mess of everything over here right now. All right, so next, we're going to disconnect power again. Okay, so now we're going to remove the SD card that we're using for the clipper load for the Mark S Pi board. And so we're going to pop out the Pi board. So we're going to take the Pi board and we're going to flip it. Actually, we're going to have to remove the carriage for it. So we're going to disconnect the cable for the screen. Go ahead and remove everything. Alright, so here, pull those guys out. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hard mount. No, I don't actually necessarily need to do it. I should be able to get it from here. So I'm going to take our mounting kit, and these are Phillips head screws. We have a wee Phillips head. Here's my heavy magnetized version of this. We're going to go ahead and disconnect that. Let's set that one in. Now we're going to take oh my gosh. I can't believe I just dropped that. That is going to be literally impossible to find. So the second that I go to install it, I drop one of the screws. And I found it. Why are these not magnetic? How terrible is that? Why are you not magnetic? Did you use like aluminum screws? Where is my other screwdriver? That's what happens when I don't put my tools away where they're supposed to go. Come on. Okay. Using the power of gravity. And brute force. We're going to get this to work. Gosh, where is everything I'm looking for tonight? I always have a set of neat those pliers handy. To my mobile toolkit I go. Son of a biscuit. You know, we're just gonna go ahead and pull the board off because I'm gonna sit here and fiddle with this thing all night and it's gonna just make me mad. So We're just going to pull the board off and get this thing mounted down. And what's going to be funny is I'm going to do all this and I'm going to find out that that load that I put on the eMMC is not going to be recognized, or something else is going to happen, and I'm going to have to pull the board back off. We'll get it worked though. So we're going to adjust that camera back down actually, so you guys can see what I'm working on. Alright, so we got those off. So now I need to take one of these guys, drop one of them in here. You see they're tiny. I'm going to put pressure on it. Bit. All right, so there's post 1 is now set. It's really annoying that these are not magnetic. Okay, post 2. Post 2 is going to be like the more difficult one, because it's just such a finite window to get it in there. So yeah, there's post 2. So we just put the 2 posts, 1, 2 on there, so we can mount our eMMC module. And so now we're going to grab our eMMC module. And that's going to be mounted inboard. So now we have the factory load going to be on the board, so I don't have to run I hopefully will not have to run a SD card. Luckily I do have the SD card with the image already on it. But we're going to put this together here shortly and fire it up to make sure that everything is syncing, because this thing's going to be upside down with all the shaking. I don't want to have that chance, or I don't think it'd be a possibility, but I don't want to have the opportunity for that board to like slowly wiggle out, even though I have no doubts in my mind that it probably would not. So now we're going to go ahead and mount our board back down. So the mounting bracket should go this way because it's going to mount like this. I could probably flip the orientation, but whatever. This seems like it's working for now. So we're going to run with it. And then we still have yet to, you know, get a fan put over the top of this. I want to have some directed cooling on the MKS Pi board. And then that'll come in a later video most likely. And besides, we still got to hook up the accelerometer, run through the calibration. There's lots more to do. We're just getting started. Besides, we got an entire another printer to build. All right. I'm going to go ahead and hook back up number 1. Number 2, reconnect power. Figure out my cables actually. Oh, come on. Thank you. It's like performing surgery, but for electronics. Slide that up. Loosen it up a little bit. Loosen that up a little bit. Slide you up and over. Get you to set back down. All right. I'm going to reconnect the ribbon cable, and we're going to have to go through the entire clipper setup, getting it connected over to the Wi-Fi. So that should be everything with the eMMC board installed, and now we're going to go ahead and get power back to the unit. And then hopefully we get Clipper to load, and then we'll start the configuration. So far, so good. There we go. That maker base starting to load up. I might route the cable underneath the board to come up over the top. Seems like a smarter choice. All right. Clipper is attempting to start. All right, so far what we've done is we've reflashed the Creality board back to its factory default settings of the 1.0.1 or 1.0.1 for the Marlin. We set up our eMMC board with the updated Clipper load from MakerBase. And so we're going to start going into setup now for the instructions, getting on the Wi-Fi network. So grab my touch pen. Menu, network. There's my network, pew pew. I tell you what, the touchscreen is very finicky though. Oh, dang it. I need to use something a little bit darker to touch this with, so give me 1 second. I wish I had a stylus pen readily available. All right, Connected. Close. Alright. I feel bad because it's like I'm probably scratching this shit out of the screen. It's just, the touchscreen is not very easy to work with. Alright. So from here, I need to grab my phone. Alright, so I need to go to 34 devices that are online on my network right now. And we're looking for the lots of unnamed devices that haven't loaded. MKS Pi, there we go. And so this one is going to be 86.55, just like the last one was. Alright, so now we need to go into the config. So we should be able to remote into the unit now. But first, we're going to go ahead and power it off. Maybe. Yeah, we're going to power it off. I already set my cable clamps. Boop. I already set our cable clamps. Should probably just print out one of those little channel organizer things. That's fine. And one more little cable clamp. Wherever it went. Oh, there it is. All right. I guess we should just go ahead and, while we're at it, we have the ribbon cable for the display. Display actually is going to go this way, so I'm going to get that set. Oh, seriously? Come on. You know, of course the locking gate closed. Why wouldn't it have closed? God, I really need to get some glasses or something. Eyeballs are killing me. All right. Boom. Fantastic. All right. Number next. Do I want to rig up a blower fan right now? Junk bin. We do have that spare fan. It's on the top lid that I don't remember where I set. So a little short cable. Short on cable length for the fan. But it is a 24 volt fan, so technically I could rig it up to the accessory board and pull 24 volt power down. Not worried about it right now. It's getting a little warm. Yeah. Yeah, 5 volts out on the board. So we got 5 volts out on the board. We could get a 5 volt fan or just run an accessory off of the Voron Design board. I don't know. That's something we'll look at here in the near future. But I wouldn't mind getting a blower fan just to put some cooling over this. We're going to get some spare wiring and just solder it again. Yeah, okay. Back to the build. So now that we're set up and we are up, we're going to go ahead and power the unit back on. Except I'm going to flip the unit over. So we're up, we're on the network, we're on the eMMC module. Oh, the amount of flipping I've done on this unit. I feel bad for it. I'm going to have to mount the screen down at some point, but you know, it's going to sit right there. And the screen is kind of meh at best right now. I gotta get the feet put on too, so we're just gonna leave it set up just like that. Alright. Let's get into programming and setting. I'm gonna plug this bad boy back in. Pull our eMMC module out. Grab our freshly minted eMMC case in our vibrant red color. Seriously, you don't want to pop off? Put the calibration stuff off. Pull the sports out of that in a second. Put that in there. Because I printed it on a texture PEI plate, we have a little bit of welding between the supports and the unit itself. Usually supports just rip right off, and these supports are not wanting to. All right, there we go. And this should just snap in place. And so we got that going down. Now we'll come over the top. It's got some tight tolerance to it, which is nice. There we go. There, our little EMCC module caddy. And a nice red color so I don't lose it. Alright, get rid of these supports. So the warrant is turned back on. She's on the network. And then we're going to go ahead and port into the unit. So we're going to pull up PuTTY. And then PuTTY, we're going to go 192.168.86.55. And we're going to run our MKS, base. Alright, there we go. So we got Maker Base Pi up and running. So from here, should also be able to go here and go 92.168.68.55. Okay, MCU unable to connect, and so we're going to go down and we're going to run a couple different things right now. So PEI11, PE11 is what we ran into last night, where we stopped. So it is on 1251 right now. Close that out. Configure. Let's see. Grab a sip of beer real quick. And we're back. Video lag and disconnects. All right. Okay. Now the bamboo's kind of turned up. It's like eerily quiet in the garage. So we're gonna go over and let's see. So we should be able to go LS, LS, dev. Oh gosh, I can't remember the stuff for it. So over here, tutorial. Not worried about that. Not worried about that. And we're not doing main sale. I had some bad issues with main sale last night, trying to get it converted over to main sale, so we're just going to leave it on Armbian for right now. Okay, so we're going to do ls/dev/serial/by /ID/asterisk. Okay, so there's our two serials. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to minimize that. We're going to go into our printer config. Under printer config, we're going to look for Control F, bracket MCU. And so the commands we're going to add in here is we're going to add in dev serial by ID USB 1A86 underscore USB underscore serial dash IF00 dash port 0. And then we're going to add in serial dev serial by ID USB clipper STM32 Fox 042 X6 underscore 1500 35000 3433 05 555 323920 dash IF0. Enter. And then the last is the baud rate. So we're going to need to set baud 15, or gosh, what is it? 112500. I think it's 1112,500. So let me check this real quick. So because we're running a Creality board, it needs to be on baud 11. So this is the part that I don't know, is to get into the make menu config. So serial dev 115200. So now we're going to go back over to printer CFG 115200. So 115200. Okay, so now we should be able to save and restart. Okay, so PE11 is not a valid pin. So this is the same error that I ran into last night with the PE11 issue. Changing microphone, sorry. So we changed it over to the pin, so I need to find the PE11 pin is not a valid pin name on the MCU. So PE11 pin Creality 4.2.7. Because I pulled up the schematics the other last night, and so if we go to our downloads and I pull up here, I don't see a PE11 pin anywhere. Got PB11, PA11, PC11. So I don't think this thing has a PE11 pin out. Fan, bed, nozzle. So, oh man, I need to take a look at the board again. See if I got a fan. I might just tie that fan into there and just run some wiring, or I'll just hook it up to the board, whatever. All right. Didn't see that work, but I tried anyway. Okay, so how do I kill a PE11? So I Control F PE11. Board pins EXP1 tag 3 equals PE11. Do I just remove that? Config file helpers, comma, separated, comma. How are you not? It's like literally, let's see. Okay, so PE11, 1 of 1. HP1 underscore 3 equals PE11. Board pins. So let me take this. I'll copy that. Clipper discourse open. Johnny X5A map to AP. Remove the whole section or comment all lines in it and restart. So that makes sense. And so if we don't have these configs set, it's going to give me an error for a ton of this stuff. So config reference. Something bit me there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's do MKS Pi Reality 4.2.7. We're doing the same thing, flash runner to Reality 4.2.7 and Ender 5 VL Touch, normally known as DFU. Different means OS. So I contains pin mappings for the Reality 4.2.7 board and uses config mount. so we get the generic. Use this file contain phonetic for guide for 2% more and use config. So I don't understand I still don't understand the make menu config thing. So that's where I'm running into issues. Ninja 3 Pro 2020. Generic reality, so printer should be under generic reality 4.2.7 CFG. Alright. Okay, so when setting up, you make your file for compiling the firmware for printer, STM, USART. So let me try this. Let me. So let's go to switch wire. Let's see. So we're just kind of, I'm just reading. That's the domain. Okay, so let me actually go in. I'm gonna run some updates. Save and restart. Config examples. So generic front 5.2.7 board, PCB rotation 5, position and stop. And so I think these have all changed because we're running the ESP1, ESP5 run out. Okay. So I got a pin map, I forgot 4.2.7 board, but the is it going? You need config STM. Select the STM. Use this config during make menu config. Select the STM32F103 with a 28 KIV bootloader and serial on USART1. PA10, PA9 communication. Where the heck do I get to make menu config? That's the thing that I just don't understand is this preload of Armbian. So Armbian minus clipper on them. You have 3 USB ports and you want to connect the MBS pad to your motherboard. USB connection, serial by ID, that's all set. STM. USB connection, I'm not worried about USB. On the printer. You also use UART on mark as pi for your motherboard. Make sure your motherboard has UART pins. Lead out. Okay, so maybe this is where it's at. How to modify the device tree file. Decompile the DTZ file to DTS file. Modify the DTS file to generate as you want. For example, change the rotation of the LCD. Compile the DTS file to overlay at origin. Reboot the system. Okay. And all this is based off of. So I should be able to take all of them. Okay, so we're gonna copy, close, printer CFG. Save and restart. Printer is not ready. Click on stop and guide. Please try to hire a few minutes. Except we need to go back into printer CFG. Increase baud 11.5 save and restart. Restart clipper. Promote restart. Power. Config. Printer. All right. It's like, what board are you using? So that's just a Raspberry Pi. M3 Pro 4.2.7 flash keyboard processor is in menu config I have selected. So where the heck? You know, it's like, is the menu config more of a Raspberry Pi thing, or is it on the MKS Pi board also? So MKS Pi. We need to go to make menu config. Computer debug import use putty to serial connect to get the system on big config. It's like 1:21 in the morning. And I'm no closer. We did do some hardware changes, but it's like I don't want the hardware changes to be my hang up. I need to get the software program so we can get this thing up and running. And so it's like right now I'm just trying to get the clipper board to talk to the main control unit, which is the Creality 4.2.7 board. And so let's see. It's like I can't believe there's not more information out there. STM32F103. Octopi, reinstall clipper says any suggestions. Flashing clipper firmware to confirm that it has been completed. The only way to know is if it has the correct. Interesting. Okay, so I just added that up. Fluid setup requirements can be found here. So I think what I need to do is I need to flash the main board back to a clipper. So why is it coming up with this? Right there. So if I go to so I wonder if I need to maybe I messed this part up and I deleted out all the other sections that still need to be in there. Let's see. Default RMBN 22.05.0 printer.cfg. should have ran these updates earlier. Okay, connecting Moonraker, finish, not connected, software updates. Not sure why it's coming up with the error, Moonraker is not valid, so running all of the updates. About main sale. I don't know, maybe main sale is going to be the way to go. Config, printer, CFG. Okay, so here we have back to here, so go back to configuration, printer, 5200 restart command.
There's some noises upstairs. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. I'm going to continue to figure this out, and we'll pick it back up tomorrow. I may reflash the the default load, just to see if I get the default load working. Yeah. Gotta figure out how to get the 4.2.7 board to connect to the MKS Pi. That's my problem right now. So I don't seem to be talking. But that might be because I adjusted the printer CFG file. Fluid CFG. Yeah, we'll play around with this tomorrow. Anyway, Nick from the Late Night Garage with Nick. It is 1:40 in the morning, and we're going to go ahead and call it a night, and we'll pick it up tomorrow.